Thank you for tapping in. My name is Professor Crow. Today we are going to be reacting to Dave Ramsey, one of Dave Ramsey's clips where he's actually speaking on stage. And um, if you know who Dave Ramsey is, which majority of people do, if you're from America at least, he is a financial advisor. He assists people with getting out of debt and encourages people not to get in debt. So it seems good. But a lot of people will swear by and live by Dave Ramsey's commands as if he's infallible. And I think that every human being is, should be subject to critique. So let's watch his video and then we'll discuss it. Okay. We'll play it all the way through and then go back and discuss it. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah. And before we do so, please, if you're here and you have not subscribed and hit the notifications bell, please do so. I've got a lot of other videos. We talk about a lot of interesting things, and I help people think critically and biblically about, pop culture events and influencers and things of that sort.
5 things you would.
The borrower is slave to the lender. What happens to us is we go to school and they give us a free pizza, so we sign up for our first credit card. You can't go to college without a student loan because you can't be a student without a student loan. That's federal law. So we sign up for that. And then we graduate from school, and now we've got the first big boy, big girl job, and we're tired of driving that old hoopty, so we get a car we really can't afford. And then people start saying, oh, you've been married 20 minutes and you haven't bought a house. What's wrong with you? Buy a house, buy a house, buy a house, buy a house, buy a house. And then we have 27-year-old couples who have been out of school 5 years who are now hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, plus their home, come to us, and they say, Dave, can you get me out? We do not borrow money for anything, ever, in any circumstances, ever. That idea is weird. I am well aware of that. And it is such a hard job to convince people who have been sold by 4 credit card companies $4 billion a year for decade after decade after decade. You see, if you don't have any payments at all, none. Think about it. Just breathe in. What if you didn't have, even, let's just pay off your house right now in your mind. Everything's gone. And you come in Monday morning, and the boss starts yelling and screaming and cussing at you. You just start walking off. You're like, where are you going? I don't have any payments. The borrower is slave.
Okay. So here we go. Actually, I'm going to pull that video back up because we're going to dissect it. But Dave Ramsey, he starts off with a Bible verse. He may even be speaking at a Christian conference. Maybe not, but it would just be my guess. But nevertheless, I'm pulling the video up one more time. And let's go back and dissect it, not digest it. Okay, here we go. He starts off using, this is not it. I don't know what this, okay, this is some other financial. Now the algorithms feed me financial advice. Okay, here we go. Why are we not getting any sound?
What happens to us?
Okay, he read the verse.
Once you, the borrower is slave
to the lender.
To the lender.
It's Proverbs chapter 22, verse 7, I believe. So, yeah, it's right there at the bottom. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. 22:7, the rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. Now, we must understand, with a lot of times on this channel, so like I said, make sure you subscribe, especially if you are interested in learning how to interpret the Bible utilizing its correct context. Okay, I'm in the real estate business, so finances are important to me. Okay, I built a business starting from scratch around $1,000, and that's I think compared to just about any other small business is doing very well. And so my point is saying that is, okay, biblical literacy in real estate. Okay, so in real estate, we say location, location, location. It's because it's very important to buy property in a good location. right? Or a location that's going to be good, where in the path of growth, in a neighborhood that may not have all brand new homes, but you can tell that the people who are moving into the neighborhood are fixing up their homes, and there's some good employment coming in that area and things of that sort, right? So location, location, location. When it comes to biblical literacy, it's context, context, context. Okay. And so when we're talking about the book of Proverbs, right? These are not ironclad every single ironclad promises from God or rules without exception, right? This just general principles and just good advice for most scenarios, but not all. Okay, that is Proverbs. Okay, so if you read the book of Proverbs from a perspective of, man, hey, this is God's word, so if there's a promise in here, and like for example, there's a proverb that says, hey, if you train your children in the ways of the Lord, when they're older, they won't depart from it. Well, hey, that's a good general principle. That's great advice. That's wisdom, but it's not an ironclad promise that applies to every single person on the planet Earth if they train up their children in the ways of the Lord. You ask enough people, there's plenty of people who've trained up their children in the ways of the Lord, and those people have departed from it. Their children did depart from it. Okay. But it's a great general principle. You should train up your children in the ways of the Lord. And many times, if you do, they will, adhere to that advice, but not every single kid, right? Okay. So you understand now, Proverbs is wisdom literature, is good general principles, great advice, but it doesn't apply to every single scenario. There are definitely exceptions. Okay. So it's important to keep that in mind. Dave Ramsey is pushing that verse as if it is a literal, every scenario, ironclad rule formula.
What happens to us is we go to school and they give us a free pizza, so we sign up for our first credit card.
Okay. He's going to continue to go on and talk bad about debt. In many ways, I will agree. But if you ask wealthy people, if you ask people who have succeeded in the game of finances, who have financial freedom, if you just ask anyone who has good credit or does credit repair, you need a credit card. Now, but you need to be wise with how you use that credit card.
You can't go to college without a student loan because you can't be a student without a student loan. That's federal.
He's saying that's federal law. Is that federal really? Somebody tell me in the comments. Is that federal law? Because I went to junior college for a very short period of time, and nobody forced me to get a student loan. You can get a grant, which is different. If you perform in school, you get a certain GPA. You don't have to pay that back. But there was nobody there forcing me at that time. It's been maybe 10 years, but nobody's forcing me, saying it's a law that you get a loan, an actual student loan.
For law. So we sign up for that.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding something about that, but y'all, as you normally do, fact check me in the comments.
Graduate from school, and now we've got the first big boy, big girl job, and we're tired of driving that.
Okay, time out. So I don't know where Dave Ramsey stands on the whole college thing, but it's worth talking about, that, you don't have to go to college and graduate to get a big boy job, big girl job. Okay. Matter of fact, it's my opinion that, college is not nowhere near as necessary for majority of people's professions as it used to be. And there's people that make really good income by going to trade schools or just learning a trade by working a job for a plumber or electrician or contractor or, designer, whatever, architect, whatever it may be, so much. It grieves me how so many people in America try to push this idea that their kids have to go to college if you want to be successful. You just got to go to college. I think parents mean well and teachers mean well, but it's worth questioning, because a lot of people I know have gone to college as you do, and not a lot of them that I know are happy with the results or even utilizing the information that they got or pursuing the career that they got their degree in. Okay. I know a lot of people, me personally, that are ultra successful that didn't even graduate high school. Some of them, even middle school, some of them didn't even know how to read. Okay. And so that maybe that's an exception, but it's worth considering. And that's just extra. Dave Ramsey, I don't know where he stands on that. And that's not what he's saying here, but I don't want to just skip over that. Like you have to, I don't like the fact that people just like, oh, now you have to go to college. Like that's just what you have to do. Like it's just no other option. Come on. There's plenty of other options. And you can learn anything on YouTube these days. I don't care if people think that's a ridiculous statement, because it's not. You can learn a lot on YouTube. You can learn a lot from going to seminars to paid mentorships, internships, and purchasing classes from people who are actually successful doing the thing in which you want to be successful doing. That may not come with a certificate, that may not come with a degree, that may just be a matter of getting into a mastermind group and networking with the right people and working for free for the right person, or paying a few $1,000s to join somebody's Facebook group and learn their trades and get to utilize their resources.
So we get a car we really can't afford. And then people
shouldn't get a car you can't afford. I mean, yeah, I agree.
Saying, oh,
but like to say that, okay, because you have good credit, because you have a good job, and you have a hoopty that you're broke down on the side of the road and you've got a 3-year-old, but you could go to the car dealership and use wisdom and get something, within your means by utilizing your credit, then come on, Dave.
Married 20.
Isn't that safer for you and your family? Something that's going to get you to work on time to help you to keep that job.
20 minutes and you haven't bought a house. What's wrong with you? Buy a house, buy a house, buy a house, buy a house, buy a house. And then we have 27.
Okay. So buying a house, is that a good investment or a bad investment? I mean, it's a homestead is a liability in many cases. Although there's people who bought right. You can still buy right. When you buy your homestead, you're not going to make passive income from your homestead, but you will if you buy right in the right area with the right timing, for the right price. You can definitely, benefit greatly from appreciation. There was people in Austin who became millionaires just because they were homeowners. Sold their homestead and had plethora of money to invest. And so, while your homestead is I think generally usually considered as a liability, I mean, it's not a terrible idea to buy a home, So I don't know anybody who's not already wealthy that can just save up and pay cash for a home. For me, I've purchased dozens of homes, no partners, but I utilize debt. And the wealthy people, if you talk to wealthy people, you study wealthy people, a majority of them are going to tell you that the wealthy utilize debt to purchase cash flowing assets. Okay, sorry, it was so hard to get that out for some reason. Wealthy people utilize debt, leverage debt to purchase cash flowing assets. Okay, I would have never been able to purchase 35 rental properties if I had to save up and pay cash for one. I'd probably have like one or two 3 or 4 if I had to pay cash for everything. But utilizing debt allows me to purchase a way more, right? 10 times, almost 10 times as many properties. So now I'm in charge of and capable of diversifying and mitigating my risk, and allows me to be in control of a large um, value of properties that now I can now sell, flip, refinance, or rent, etc. But if I follow Dave Ramsey's advice, I'd be in a bad predicament. I believe, not the worst. And I don't think he may not. I don't think Dave Ramsey. So my point in saying all this is to say, and we'll finish up here shortly, is like I don't think he's the advisor for people who want to be entrepreneurs, for people who are interested in investing, people who desire to become, to be in a position financially quickly to where they can have financial freedom. I think there's some good to some of his advice, but I find it personally, I find it flawed. You may disagree, and I'm open to considering your perspective in the comments. But I think that there's a better way, and I don't think we have to be afraid. I do believe there's such thing as good debt, utilizing, leveraging good debt to purchase cash flowing assets. So hopefully Dave is specifically talking to people who are utilizing debt to make bad purchases, to purchase liabilities that are way out of their budget, right? Way beyond what they can afford, right? Even with their job, right? So, those are my 2 cents on that.
7-year-old couples who have been out of school 5 years, who are now hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, plus.
Yeah, I've got millions of dollars worth of debt.
Their home.
Did not graduate college.
Come to
I'm actually not in a bad position though.
us, and they say, Dave, can you get me?
Got a pretty I didn't want to make this video about me, but I mean, I can only speak for me. I don't know everybody else's financial situation, but got a really nice net worth compared to my peers.
Out. We do not borrow money for anything ever in any circumstances.
That's where I start to think, okay, maybe you're actually saying no one. It sounds like you're saying no one should ever utilize debt to purchase cash flowing assets. Dave, I wonder how you got your rental properties, because he boasts to have, I think, hundreds of rental properties, if I'm not mistaken. And so you're saying you just saved up all that money and bought one at a time, Dave? You didn't ever utilize any debt ever to purchase your rental properties? Who left you this inheritance? Who let you? I mean, he don't want to borrow money ever, so I can't say anybody let him borrow it, but it just seems real far-fetched. I hate to doubt the guy because he seems genuine, but it is not realistic. I mean, for the average person, if you're terrible with money and you're terrible with finances, then hey, be my guest. You need to listen to Dave Ramsey. Don't get any debt, but if you've got half a brain cell and you want to purchase a home or a car, a car that actually can get you, back and forth to work on time, I have a hard time taking Dave Ramsey seriously.
Ever.
Especially if you want to purchase a business one day, if you want to, purchase investment properties one day. I mean, Dave, you got to run as far as you can from this advice.
That idea is weird.
I think you're right. It is weird. Okay. If you're talking about your own advice.
Well aware of that. And it is such a hard job to convince people.
Because it's nonsense.
Who have been sold by 4 credit card companies $4 billion a year for decade after decade after decade.
So yeah, he must also, I don't follow a lot of his stuff, so he must also be totally opposed to just the credit system in general then, because how do you build credit if you don't have any lines of credit? Even if you're not utilizing, hardly any of the amount that they allow for you to have, I don't get it.
See, if you don't have
He's got more teachings on that. Maybe maybe one of his Dave Ramsey's disciples will be in the comment section to educate me on all that. But I don't see how it works.
Payments at all? None. Think about it. Just breathe in. What if you didn't have even, let's just pay off your house right now in your mind. Everything's gone.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds great. It sounds like a little bit of peace of mind, but how long in this current economy, especially, how long is it going to take an average American to pay off everything? I just don't think it's ever going to happen within maybe 10, maybe 15, 20 years if you eat the scraps off the table. You know what I mean? But I think a much more realistic way for you to become financially free, if you do want to pay everything off, then you need to utilize good debt to purchase cash flowing assets, make smart investments with your money, the money that the bank will loan you, make smart investments with it, build a good relationship with bankers and lenders, and utilize the loans that they allow you to get to purchase great properties and learn from people. There's plenty of people out there that will assist you. I teach real estate myself, that will assist you in purchasing good assets, analyzing and making sure that these are good assets, and then turn around and either sell them or even refinance them and pull out some of your equity and cash. And then in those type of situations, next thing you know, you end up in a type of situation where you've made smart decisions, and then you can have enough cash to say, okay, I can pay off my house. But I don't know how. I mean, Dave Ramsey's teaching you to put aside this much money out of every one of your paychecks. And, that's really tough for people to do these days with inflation and the price of everything going up. I don't understand how people are going to be able to save hardly anything these days. Because here's the problem with saving, right? Because he's talking about biblical advice. Well, if you're saving your money rather than investing your money, and maybe he does encourage investing, but if you're just saving your money, with inflation, you're losing your money, okay? Because the price of everything's going up, the value of your dollar is going down, and there's no real use in just having money sitting, even if you got it in a CD or whatever. So Dave Ramsey is, telling you to wait till you save up $100,000 so you can pay off your house, and then maybe you can save up another $100,000 to invest in one house. I mean, because you got to pay cash for it. It's like, how long does Dave Ramsey think we live on this earth?
And you come in Monday morning, and the boss starts yelling and screaming and cussing at you. You just start walking off. You're like, where are you going? I don't have any payments.
Okay, so your boss comes in yelling, screaming, and cussing at you, but you own everything free and clear, so you can just quit your job. Well, you better have some more money, even if you own everything free and clear, because you're still going to have property taxes. You're still going to have an electric bill. Even if you got solar, you're still going to you got a 40-year, 20-year loan just to get the solar crap. You still got bills. You still got stuff to pay for, so you still need the job, So I don't know. Maybe I'm being overcritical, but I'm not a big Dave Ramsey fan. I think he's probably a great guy, and I'm sure he means well. And to some people, this advice is necessary. But I still think if you put it on the internet, it's worthy of a critique. And these are my thoughts. I'm interested to hear what you guys think in the comment section. Once again, let's put the time, effort, and money into doing these videos. So please do me a favor and like. If you don't like it, dislike it, but at least subscribe and hit the notification bell, because we may agree on some other things. God bless y'all. Hope y'all have a great day.